Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dreams Unlimited Travel Podcast. My name is John Magi, and I'll be your host. And in this episode, we are going to talk to you about Norwegian Cruise Line sailings. Very excited to talk about Norwegian sailings. I am joined via the internet by various people. Client Services Manager for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Kevin Close.
Hi, everyone.
And Agent Susan Kelly for Dreams Unlimited Travel. I messed that up. Dreams Unlimited Travel Agent Susan Kelly.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Thank you for everyone at home for listening and watching. Thank you guys for joining me. I specifically asked Susan to do this show with us because Susan has really become our Norwegian Cruise Line expert. There are several agents at Dreams Unlimited Travel that do sell Norwegian Cruise Line, but Susan sells the most. She's really become extremely familiar with the product and can really speak best of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that much about Norwegian Cruise Line. Kevin and I have done 2 sailings. We can talk about our experience on those sailings. But for the most part, this is not a cruise line I have chosen. For the most part, we do a lot of Royal Caribbean and a lot of Celebrity, but I'm excited to get some more info on Norwegian because I will tell you this, in researching this, I found some incredible rates. So it makes me think that this is something we should pursue as far as cruises. All right, so we're going to start, as Susan, I'm going to ask you a couple questions so we can sort of set the stage of what we want to do and where we want to go. And first and foremost, on everybody's mind, what is their COVID policy? What is their cancellation and rebooking policy? All cruise lines have sort of modified this to be super flexible, but tell us specifically what Norwegian is doing.
Okay, so, and this is ever changing, but right now, Norwegian is allowing you to cancel up to 15 days prior to your sail date. And so they're being very flexible with their cancellation policy. And they've also moved back their final due dates for many cruises for 2021 back to a 60-day mark for them.
Wow. So, kind of like everybody else, they're being a little more flexible in their cancellation policies. They're allowing more time for a lot of sort of this peace of mind. They want people to book, they want people to travel, but they understand that there is a lot of questions about when cruising will start again. Do you have any indication, like right now, what is the first sailing or the first month Norwegian's actually sailing?
Right. So today they actually just announced that they've canceled their sailings through the end of March 2021. So that gives me the indication of April. And that's if they can get their ships out, get them tested with the CDC people on board, as well as regular people doing all their test sailings first. They got to pass the test sailings like every cruise line does. Once they do that, we're hoping April, May-ish, maybe. I'm really hoping more April than May.
Really?
Because I think that's still 4 months for us because we're just getting into January. So I think it can be done. Officially, they have not said, as any cruise line has not announced yet officially when they're going to set sail.
I want to remind folks listening and watching from home that we are recording this a little bit ahead of time. It's going to be shown in January of 2021. So Susan just mentioned they just canceled March. This happened this morning. So if you say to us, well, wait, that happened a couple weeks ago, it's because we're recording this ahead of time. So if any information changes, we apologize. We're giving you the information we have at the moment. I do want to talk a little bit. Again, I mentioned that not knowing that much about Norwegian, not being one of the ones that's on my radar, quote unquote, I want to do some research and find out what's going on with them. And they have got an incredible resource on their site that talks about all of the things they're doing for COVID. As far as I'm concerned, this is kind of the most comprehensive material I've read from any cruise line so far. Things like they're changing, or they have changed their air filtration system on all of their ships to be up to the standard of the CDC for COVID. Screening protocols, temperature screenings. They're going to screen you getting on the ship. They're going to screen you before you go into a restaurant or a theater or anything like that. Increased sanitation, how often they're going to clean, they talk about. And then there's something else I think is interesting is they mention the fact that on their ships, they're going to have tests, and they even mention vaccines, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I wonder if they're planning that if they might have a supply of vaccines on their ship that they've purchased from the manufacturer. Testing kits and medical supplies will include advanced on-site rapid diagnostic testing for COVID-19, increased inventory of medical oxygen equipment, increased inventory of vaccinations. Again, seems weird, seems odd, but
That might be one way to get them.
yeah, really. It only costs you $5,000 for a cruise, but you get a free COVID vaccine. Increased inventory of medication to treat COVID-19. So again, I am impressed with the amount of information they put out and the amount that they're willing to share. We should be clear to say that masks are going to be required. It says it right in the thing. You're in public places, you're going to wear a mask. And then they are also going to adhere to social distancing, which no one's really said what that means, but reduce capacity on the ship, reduce capacity in the restaurants and all of those things. So very impressed with them about that.
I would assume buffets are a thing of the past.
Yeah. You know, we've had this conversation before. We think buffets are going to go away for good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, really. No love lost there.
I read somewhere that, or maybe we talked about it, that they are going to go to family-style restaurants, where it would be the same things that were on a buffet, but they would bring portions of it to your table, and that would be refillable or replaceable. Yeah, refillable is the right word.
Yeah, some buffets are doing that already, and they're starting to do that procedure. And we talked about it. And we said, listen, you know, this not only seems like a better plan, but also less waste.
Oh, I think where we talked about it was Crystal Palace is doing that. Isn't that what we talked about?
I think the episode we recorded, Tracy talked about beer garden, but you know, other places will do it as well. So, all right. So that's sort of we took our medicine part of learning about Norwegian Cruise Line. Let's talk about the fun stuff. They have got quite a fleet. They rival Royal Caribbean. Tell us about their ships and itineraries.
Okay, so they have a total of 17 ships, and they basically go everywhere. They do the Caribbean, Canada, New England, Bermuda, Europe, Northern Europe, the Mediterranean. They also have some special, what they call extraordinary adventures, where they do like a 14-night Southern Pacific cruise to the South Pacific, things like that. Australia, New Zealand. So they do sail everywhere. Now, to keep in mind, with 2021, 2022, we are seeing cruise lines modifying a lot of ships and their destinations. And that's because the more we learn when they're going to open back up, where they're going to sail, they're changing ships around and moving them, and some aren't going to be in service as quickly as others and things like that. So we got to keep that in mind. But they really do go everywhere.
They've got an extensive fleet. They've got some newer ships and some older ships, like every other cruise line. One of the cruises that Kevin and I did is we did the cruise around the Hawaiian Islands. And this really, as far as I know, Norwegian's the only cruise line that offers that sailing.
They are, and that is year-round that they do that. It's on the Pride of America, and they offer it year-round out of Honolulu. So it's a great place that if you're going to go to Hawaii and you want to kind of mix it up a little bit, you can come in a couple days prior, say like in Honolulu, stay at Waikiki Beach, then take your cruise, and then maybe fly over to like Maui or Kauai or anything like that. So
the other thing too is one of the big things that Disney does is they do their Trans-Pacific crossings. Norwegian does them too. I was finding those, Vancouver to Hawaii, and
Yes.
then within Hawaii, they go to different islands. They also do Pacific Island cruises, Kevin. They do like
Do that.
I know, they do like Bora Bora and
Yeah.
things like that. And I
We've been to
think
Bora Bora.
we have.
In Tahiti? We were in Tahiti on Easter Sunday, which was kind of odd, but just something about Spirit of America. Spirit of America is registered in the United States. So it has different policies and offerings than cruises that are registered in foreign countries. The Spirit of America does not have a casino because it is registered in the United States.
The Pride of America.
Pride.
What did I say?
Spirit. They do have
Pride of
a
America.
NCL Spirit, but this is the Pride.
Sorry, Pride of America. I misspoke.
That's okay.
It's a U.S. registered ship, so it is a little different experience.
We talked about this kind of before we were going to do the show, and we talked about, we had done a whole show on our Hawaii cruise experience, so we decided we weren't going to go back into that specifically. But one of the things you should know is this cruise is really about getting to see as much of Hawaii as possible. It's less about the ship. The ship is okay, and things are okay on the ship. But there are cruises that we take that are cruise ship specific and also destination specific. This is a destination specific cruise, something you won't be able to do anywhere else.
This is more about the ports than the transportation.
Yep. And getting to see all of those islands on one sailing was really, really special. I'm really glad we did it. So
I'm sure I'm going to misspeak, but one of the cool things you get to do is you cruise by, I think it's the Pali Coast. I thought that was pretty cool.
a lot of cool stuff. So, the nice thing is we sell a lot of Disney Cruise Line sailings, and that's just something that we do because of our affiliation, our affection for Disney, let me put it that way. But if you are looking for other sailings and different sailings and want to expand out beyond just the Caribbean, I think Norwegian's a great option. I mean, we also did a Mediterranean sailing, right, Kevin?
We did on the Epic.
Yep. And one of the things I remember about that is we chose the Epic, we chose Norwegian because of the price. We thought the price was really reasonable. Now, one of the things is Norwegian is running some specials at the moment, and we just need to make sure that everybody knows that these specials come and go and they change, but there's always something running. But what I like now is they're doing the sort of all-inclusive thing, right, Susan, where there's a lot of stuff that's included.
Yeah, what they offer is the Perks program, and they have the most popular one is the Beverage package. They have a specialty dine package, the free Wi-Fi, the shore excursion credit, and sometimes they'll have a fifth promotion. It'll be a kids sail free, but it's not on every ship, not on every sailing. So that one is more specific to sailings, where the other promotions are basically on every cruise that they have. And that promotion comes and goes, but mostly stays a lot. Sometimes they offer it. I know right now they are offering it with a 30% off on top of it. Now that 30% is not all the time. So like I said, the promotions are different, but those perks usually stay. Sometimes it might be they only offer 2 perks, but most of the time it's the 4 perks. And you can always, if they have just 2 perks offered, you can still add on the other 2 perks if you want it.
Yeah, right now I believe it's the 4 perks. It's free Wi-Fi. It is the drink package. It is gratuities.
Specialty dine program.
Specialty dine. And what's the 4th thing?
And then the shore excursion credit. They give you, the shore excursion credit is they give you $50 per cabin per port of call to use towards a shore excursion. The Wi-Fi is 250 free minutes. The specialty dine package is for passengers 1 and 2 only in the cabin, where they get to choose from one of their specialty restaurants, and they get 2 credits so they can dine at 2 different restaurants. And then the beverage package is for passengers 1 and 2 only. If they're adults, obviously, they're going to get the alcoholic package. They can purchase, if there's 4 people in the room, if it's all 4 adults, they can purchase the 2 additional adult beverage package. If there's kids, they can purchase a soda package if they want.
Something I learned in doing my research is that Norwegian's private island, Stirrup K, Stirrup Key, whatever they call it, you can use the drink package on the island.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful island too. Yes.
I was looking at videos of it. I haven't been there. Interesting enough, again, it's their private island in the Caribbean. We talked about this on another show. We expect that cruise lines will probably try to keep you in a bubble. So pick a cruise line that does have a private island, because that'll probably be one of the major destinations. But their private island is actually very close to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's island, like super close to it. However, it's not that sort of carnival atmosphere. You know, Coco Cay there's a drop and a coaster and slides and water stuff. And if you have kids, that's great. That's fantastic. The Norwegian's private island is really about relaxing and enjoying the beach and being on the beach. And I shared a video with Kevin. Have you seen Silver Cove, the newest portion that they've built? That's really the high-end portion.
With the cabanas?
You can get, well, I don't even know, do they call them cabanas?
Yeah, there's a studio, a 1-bedroom, and a 2-bedroom cabana. And they go from $350 for a studio up to, I believe they said $1,200 for the 2-bedroom. These are actual 2-bedroom apartments. They have 2 separate bedrooms. They have a private bathroom. They have a sofa. They have TVs. They have a lounge. And it's like a hotel room. I think the common thought is that eventually they will stop overnight there and allow people to stay in these studio 1 and 2 bedroom cabanas. Now,
These are not like cabanas like on Castaway Cay or other islands. This is like you're staying in a luxury apartment.
Right. Exactly. It's a 2-bedroom apartment.
Got me really excited.
Yeah, me too.
Although, you know, it seems a little frivolous spending that much money to go take a nap on the island.
I was just going to say, for $1,200, I could nap on the boat and still see the water, because that's what I'm going to do anyway.
But that's the 2-bedroom that fits like 16 people.
It does. It fits 16 people. And you get your own butler, and they buttle for you. And I read that they had a Patron Bar. I believe that's tequila. So you can sit on the beach and do tequila. However, they also stated that a glass of champagne was $25 a glass. And I don't know, they didn't say whether that fit in your drink package or not, but this is some high-end stuff.
Yeah.
So if you and 15 of your friends want to take naps on the beach,
The good news is I don't have 15 friends. So it's just me and you. But
what to do with a 1-bedroom?
yeah, probably. It's very exciting because it's kind of different than what other people are doing. So that was what?
It is different. But you and I are going to go there, look around the 1-bedroom villa. You're going to fall asleep. I'm going to sit in the living room looking at the beach and read. And I think to myself, that's a lot of money. We had a bed on the ship. So
You ruin everything.
I'm so logical, I guess.
You are logical. So, Susan, you have some examples of pricing for Norwegian for me?
Yeah, I do. I do have some pricing. So I priced up, I started with doing an Eastern Caribbean sailing. A lot of clients that we have, especially when it's cold up in the Northeast like it is now, they want to head down south to Florida to sail out. So I priced up one for 2022. And I did this as a family. I did it from March 5th to the 12th, 2022 on the Escape. It's doing a 7-night Western Caribbean. I did it with 2 adults and 2 children, and the children I did under the age of 10. And I did it in a family balcony cabin with the 5 perks, because on this particular sailing, they did offer the kids sail free. So the category is a B4, which is the family balcony cabins, and it was a $36.85 total with the perks.
For all 4 people?
All 4.
In a balcony stateroom.
Balcony stateroom, yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
$1,000 a person.
Okay, help me again, because there was a lot of information there. What was the sailing again, the sailing type?
So it was the NCL Escape from March 5th to the 12th, 2022, 7-night Western Caribbean, 2 adults, 2 kids. It's a B4 category where the kids sail free, and they got the other 4 perks along with it, and it was $36.85.
Are the kids allowed to eat?
Yeah, they do allow them. Yeah, when
Wow.
they feel free, they're basically, kids do have to pay for the port charges and taxes. So that's basically what they were paying for.
Still, that's an incredible price.
Yeah, it's a really, really good price.
And those,
$900 a person?
So it comes out to, yeah, under $1,000 a person,
and again, they
Yeah.
get the 4 perks, 4 or 5.
right? So just remember, the adults get the beverage package, the adults get the specialty dine, and then the room will get the Wi-Fi, and then the room will get the shipboard, the shore excursion credit. So, and then the kids sail free.
Still, what does their beverage package cost? I know I guess on Royal Caribbean it's something like $500.
Yeah, it varies by the ship and the sail length of the ship and everything. But yeah, it's up there. It's the alcohol packages are not cheap. So
So you're talking about, I'm going to guess, another $1,500 in savings.
Yep.
On those perks alone.
yes.
Depends on how much the kids drink.
Yeah, really. Drink more, kids. I want to save more. Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing. And again, we did the Hawaii cruise because of the ports, but we chose the Norwegian cruise in the Mediterranean based on the price. So, I mean, if you're looking at saving money versus if you don't have to do Disney and be a Disney person, and you can you try another cruise line, you may be, a little leery about that. This is a good incentive to do it. It's a great.
And if you are a Disney person and you want to sail out of Hawaii, you can always stay at Alani before or after, and I'm sure Susan would help you with that too.
Exactly.
Definitely.
What else? Yeah. What other pricing do you have for us?
So another one I priced up was Alaska, because Alaska is very popular obviously during the summer season, the height of their season. This one, again, I did for 2022. It's the NCL Encore, and this one goes out of Seattle, and it's a 7-night cruise, July 17th to 24th. So I did it right in the middle of the height of the Alaska season for you. Now,
Alaska season is pretty much May through September.
Yeah, May through early September. July and August being prime time for them when people really want to sail. So that's why I chose like the highest. So it'll be a little bit on the higher side. So this I just did for 2 adults because we're going to leave the kids at home. We just want to go and have a great.
Because they're probably drunk.
Yeah, because drunk home. So this one I did a B9 category, which is a spa balcony category. And the spa balcony categories gives you access to their spa and the Mandarin Spa, the fitness center, and then you get complimentary access to the thermal spa suites. And it's only on the Escape and Breakaway class ships along with the Bliss and the Epic. So these the B9 category was pricing at $65.65 for 2 adults, but again, with the 4 perks program.
These Alaska sailings are very popular.
Yep.
So they are expensive. The fact that it's out of Seattle helps a little bit because, we don't know what Canada's doing.
Right.
We're still up in the air about when and where Canada will let us travel into their country, so you might not be able to get into Vancouver for some of these sailings. So that's a nice thing as well.
And Seattle's really cool.
Yeah, Seattle's a great place. We've been in Seattle a couple times, and you do that couple pre-nights really, really helps.
Yeah, it's a fun city. It's a fun city. And your airfare tends to be a little bit lower when going in and out of Seattle versus Vancouver as well. So that will help.
And again, how many perks did this get? Just get the 4 perks?
4. This was with the 4 perks. So you still have the beverage, you got the specialty dine, you got the Wi-Fi, and you got the shore excursion credit.
And you got the thermal spa.
And then you get, right, because you're going to get access to that too.
And for all intents and purposes, that's like the rainforest room.
Right.
Right.
But I don't know what it is on Norwegian, but on Royal Caribbean now, what is it, Kevin? Like $90 a day or something if you want to do it. I don't know what Norwegian is, but that's a savings as well.
Right, exactly.
Getting that. One of the things I'm hoping people get from listening to you price these out is that there are so many more categories on Norwegian and Royal Caribbean and Celebrity than they are on Disney. Disney's done a pretty good job of, making it a little bit easier. But exactly. But you get into these, okay, what was this? B9.
B9. The B9, yeah.
Bingo. And that's a thermal spa and all of this stuff. So really you want to have somebody who knows the ships, who knows what these categories mean, and can help you do the thing you want, right? You might not want the spa. That might not be one that appeals to you. So why have that stateroom? Go for something else. Go for maybe a little bit cheaper one. But yeah, these are really, cruising is getting a little more complicated from the booking standpoint, I think. I mean, just the amount of stateroom choices.
But again, $6,500 in July.
Right.
Where you can have a balcony.
Yeah.
That's fairly reasonable.
It is. It's a very good price along with the perks and everything. So
I agree.
Excellent. You got another one for us, Susan?
Yep. And I have one other one.
I love hearing about the people she's picked out to go.
I can have 7. Just let me know.
Do they have names? What's their careers?
So the next one is the Breakaway, which is one of their bigger ships, one of their newer ones. This one goes out of Miami. I did a 7-night Eastern Caribbean sailing because it's very popular. This one I did over this coming summer for August 1st to the 8th of 2021. So in hopes that, we're sailing again. I did it for 2 adults, and I did category BA, which is a balcony cabin. It's located on different decks of the ship, but they're usually midship. Some may be a little forward, some may be a little aft, so we could choose one that works best for you. And that one was coming in at $3,500 for 2 people, along with the 4 perks promotion that they have.
Wow. This was an Eastern Caribbean?
Eastern Caribbean 7-night from Miami.
To those
$3,500.
Yep.
In a balcony stateroom. And it also includes the stop at their private island.
Yep.
I assume.
Yep.
Slippery Cove.
No. Stirrup Key. Or Stirrup K, not Slippery Cove.
I'm going to get emails saying, I want to go to Slippery Cove.
Really?
Can I go to Slippery Cove with Kevin?
Yeah.
No, the place where the fancy buildings are is Silver Cove.
I knew it was something like that.
You did know something.
A little bit slippery, whatever.
Yeah, again, I think we have to pause here and really pay attention to how great this pricing is. I mean, this is.
I thought the villas were expensive. I thought I think that's expensive. I mean, $1,200, but that's for 16 people. $3,500 on a balcony stateroom out of Miami in what was it, August?
Yep, 7 nights for August 1st to the 8th of 2021.
Do we like these people that were going?
Yes.
Bob and Trisha. We like them very much. Excellent. Yeah. What else do we want folks to know about Norwegian? What do we want to let them know? Anything special or different
So one of the things that drew me to Norwegian, because I was cruising a lot at the beginning when I started my cruise, and I was doing a lot of Carnival. This is way back when. And then I started, doing the Royal Caribbean and Disney Cruise Line. And then I started with Norwegian. And one of the things I loved about them, and they were the first to do this, they just basically, you just get on the board and do what you want on the ship, and you just do what you want. And you can dine when you want to dine. There was no set dining times. They didn't have main seating, late season. It was freestyle. Everything with Norwegian was freestyle. And that's what drew me to Norwegian. And the first time I did that, oh my God, I loved it. I loved it because I didn't have to rush back from something to make sure I showered and got dressed and, got to the dining room on time and everything. It was very relaxing for me. And that's one of the things that I love about Norwegian. It's totally freestyle, totally relaxing. You can dine where you want, when you want. And they got a ton of restaurants to choose from. They still have the main dining rooms. You can make reservations now on your online account prior to going if you want. I just found it, for me, because of the freestyle, the way they did it, it was just so relaxing. And one of the other things I liked is that if I wanted to dress up for dinner, I could. And if I didn't want to, I didn't have to. So
Yeah, that's actually, it's funny. People love Disney Cruise Line. I think that's great. But for Kevin and I, it's a little too rigid. It's kind of like you're having dinner from this time to this time. And that's kind of it for you.
And then you're going to see a show. Or you're going to see a show and then you're going to have dinner. And you're going to like it. Get in the boat and row.
yeah, this is so
the
different.
other thing, I'm sorry?
I was going to say, this is so different.
The other thing is they're always noticeable in port.
Yes.
NCL ships, because they have those wild designs on them. I think they're beautiful. Except for the two we went on.
Yes.
They did not have wild designs.
No. And I will say this. I believe we were on the Epic. But
We were.
On the Epic. And these ships have the Haven, which is the suite guest area. In my opinion, they are not the prettiest ships sailing. But are you sailing on a ship?
Even with like two cargo boxes up on top of the ship.
We did. So, but you have to think to yourself, am I going on the ship because it's pretty? Yeah. Guess what? Disney Cruise Line ships are gorgeous. And they
Just stop for a minute. The Epic was a ship that the CEO at the time, I might have some of these details wrong, decided he could design a cruise ship. So he put in all of these things that he thought were important. It was the only one he did for a reason.
Right. And I believe it's been rehabbed since then.
Yes.
They didn't take out the Haven. The Haven is part of a lot of their ships now, which again is the suite class.
Suite category.
Right.
And you get a private pool and a private restaurant. And again, people buttle you.
So if you are, there's something about being on Castaway Cay and having the magic or the wonder or the wish, not the wish isn't out yet. Part there and taking the picture and all of that is wonderful. But for Norwegian, you know what? I don't know that the outside of the ship makes a difference for what you're getting and what you're experiencing on the inside. So just something to keep in mind. I think sometimes people get caught up on that.
The service was excellent on both ships.
Yeah, the service on NCL is pretty incredible. I've been on 10 plus NCL sailings and never had an issue. The crew couldn't do enough for you, basically, once you board that ship. And it didn't matter what category, whether you were Haven or whether you were just in basic inside cabin and everything. No matter where we encountered the crew members and everything, they were incredible.
Well, they can't tell from looking at you.
No, they can't.
If you have windows in your room.
So, but no, they were wonderful. And I actually have a little story that one of the sailings that I did, I used to sail with my cousin prior to her passing away. And we did a couple of NCL ships. And the very first one we did it out of New York. And we were going down to Bermuda. And it was embarkation day, and we were out by the pool area, and we were just kind of sitting around and watching people and, soaking everything in. And one of the what do you call them? Like the hotel group, like not the manager, but the, why am I at a loss for words on
The
this?
stateroom attendants?
No. The ones that are in charge of all the programs and everything.
Cruise
The cruise
director.
director?
Cruise director, right, came over and started talking to us, asked us where we were from, what we were doing. She's like, no, you're going to get involved, you're going to go to here and here. We're like, yeah, and everything. She goes, well, I want to see you at all these places. And I'm like, all right. But we did like the trivia stuff and all that, and we did the shows, and we would see her on the ship all the time, and she would always say hi, and she would call us by name. She remembered our names, everything. So a few years later, I went on another NCL ship with my now husband, and we were sitting in the audience, and they were doing an introduction to the crew members and everything the first night. And I was probably like about 6, 7 rows back and everything, and she was there. And she pointed to me, and I went like this, and she's like, I know you. And so when I came down, she asked how I was and how my cousin was, not knowing that my cousin had passed away. So she remembered me from a few years later. And I was just like so impressed by that.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
We're going on another NCL cruise.
Hey, which one?
We have an NCL cruise booked for, I can't remember if it's October or November.
But we don't want to talk about it because you can't book it through Dreams.
Yeah, it's a specialty cruise. It's the Broadway cruise.
Broadway cruise.
But you cannot book it through a travel agent. You have to go directly to the Broadway cruise if you want to book.
Right.
But it is on an NCL ship, so we'll have another experience. So soon we'll catch up with your tin.
For this kind of cruise, what they've done is they've partnered with a travel agency, and they represent them, and they have the whole ship bought out, and it's through the Broadway cruise. They do a lot of different things. They do a bluegrass cruise and things like that. But going back, you don't want to do that one. But going back to what you're saying is, it's amazing how you go on a ship, and it's like, I remember you. And then one of the things that happens to us is the casino. You're in the casino, and the guy's like, I remember you. 6 years ago, you were on the Freedom out of Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, how do you remember that?
I know, it's amazing. It's
And
amazing.
then you start to think, am I being obnoxious? Is that why they remember me?
Exactly. How drunk was I? Want to remind everybody, book your Norwegian Cruise Line vacation with Dreams Unlimited Travel, and you get our shipboard credit. Shipboard credit is based on the total price of your cruise. And once you get a quote with us, we will clearly tell you what your shipboard credit is. And, shipboard credit is what it says. You get a credit on your account, and you can use it for souvenirs or drinks if you don't have the package, or shopping, all that good stuff. All right. Anything else we want to add to Norwegian before we close out?
No, but I want to tell Susan it's really good to see you.
It is.
Thank you. It's great
I
seeing
haven't seen you in a long time.
I know.
Someday.
I know. I'm hibernating up here in Massachusetts in the cold, so it's cold, so I'm not going anywhere.
Excellent. If you have a Dreams Unlimited travel agent and you're thinking about a Norwegian Cruise Line sailing, you can contact them directly. If not, contact Susan at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, and she'd be more than happy to help you with a quote and give you some information to move things along.
If you email John or I, we'll point you towards Susan.
Absolutely. Excellent. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Susan, for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for I don't know what you did. And thank you, everybody at home, for listening and watching. We hope you have a great week, and we hope you have a great vacation.